Is there a motion to terminate Keith Freeman?
Coming in, I mean, unfortunately, we knew it was going to be a little messy, but it's just something.
Is there a motion to terminate Keith Freeman? Coming in, I mean, unfortunately, we knew it was going to be a little messy, but it's just something we felt was important that had to be done. That should be done. But like I said, you have just some accountability. All right, let's dive right into this roller coaster that's got everyone talking. If you haven't heard the name Tiffany Henyard by now, you've probably been living under a rock. The mayor of Dolton, Illinois, and supervisor of Thornton Township has been in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. What started as whispers about mismanagement and questionable leadership has now turned into full-blown chaos with restraining orders, federal investigations, and a community that's fed up to their limits. I think you should pay everybody. Is there a reason why you guys are not paying whatever that vendor is? What was it for? It was for shirts. That's what it's for. So what's really going on with this super mayor who once had a pretty solid grip on the political scene? Is she about to lose it all? Let's break it down because trust us, the drama here runs deep. First off, let's talk about this shocking court ruling just recently. A Cook County judge stepped in and put a stop to Henyard's controversial appointments. That's right, she tried to pull a fast one by appointing a new police chief, village administrator, and village attorney without getting the required approval from the village board of trustees. Now, if that sounds shady to you, you're not wrong. It was a blatant power grab, and the court wasn't having any of it. Judge Thomas Wilson didn't just slap her on the wrist, he issued a restraining order that blocked her from making any of those appointments. Last month, the judge issued a temporary restraining order blocking her from making those appointments without approval from the trustees. This isn't some small-town mayor getting a minor reprimand, this is a full-on legal smackdown. What's really wild is that these weren't just minor appointments either. We're talking about key positions that pretty much run the town. Henyard thought she could bypass the system, but the judge made it crystal clear she doesn't have the authority to do that. And let's not forget, the judge warned her that if she continues to push these appointments, she could be held in contempt of court. The court today declined to hold her in contempt, but did warn her that if she did not follow the ruling, he would. Can you imagine a sitting mayor being held in contempt for ignoring a court order? That's next-level drama. But this isn't just about Henyard overstepping her legal boundaries, it's part of a much bigger story about how she's run things, or more like how she's mismanaged them. This ruling is a massive blow to her because it basically says, hey, your power isn't unchecked, and the courts are watching you closely. And it's not just the court that's keeping an eye on her, there's a federal investigation brewing too. That's right, the FBI is on her case, digging deep into how she's handled things as both the mayor of Dolton and the supervisor of Thornton Township. Now, we all know when the feds come knocking, it's not good news. They've issued warrants, and the investigation is all about possible corruption and financial mismanagement. Apparently, they're looking into everything: employment records, financial documents, and even contracts involving some of Henyard's closest allies. Hey guys, this is Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard. You're the people's mayor and township supervisor. Here's where it gets juicy. The investigation is uncovering some serious spending issues. Rumor has it that Henyard has been splurging on lavish trips, expensive dinners, and who knows what else all on the taxpayer's dime. One of the more eyebrow-raising discoveries? A whopping $40,000 spent on Amazon purchases in a single day. We mean, come on, who spends that kind of money on Amazon, especially when it's not your money to spend? So where's the investigation leaving no stone unturned? They're really focusing on how Henyard has handled or mishandled public funds. Who would make a one-day purchase of over $40,000 on Amazon? And the main thing is, what is it? Speaking of mishandling, the people of Dolton and Thornton Township have had enough. Residents are furious. They've taken to the streets in protest, demanding answers and calling for Henyard to step down. And honestly, can you blame them? When the town's general fund is $365 million in the red, and you've got your mayor using public money for personal gain, you'd be angry too. The community's outrage is real, and it's not just about the money. It's about the lack of transparency, the secrecy, and the overall mismanagement that's left these towns in chaos. The township residents are paying for her fun, and one of the most powerful examples of this anger is the protests erupting in both Dolton and Thornton Township. People are rallying with signs that say things like, "Take our township back," and "Henyard must go," These protests aren't just a few disgruntled residents either. It's a large, growing movement of people who feel like they've been lied to and exploited by someone they elected to lead them. And it's not just the residents. Trustees from the board, the very people Henyard has to work with, are fed up too. They're the ones who took her to court over her illegal appointments, and they're not letting this go quietly. So that's one of the reasons I vote no. When we go through our board packets, it's like, some of this stuff is like you don't know exactly what it's for, and then when you ask a question, there's no answer. Now let's zoom in on one particular legal battle that's heating up. Enter Gerald Jones, a former employee of Thornton who is suing the township for retaliatory discharge. His story is a shocking one. Jones claims that after reporting rodent infestation at the township's food assistance program, he became the target of harassment and threats from Keith Price, a close ally of Henyard. Price, who was put in charge of the food assistance program, allegedly made Jones's wife a living hell after he blew the whistle on the rodent issue. The threats got so bad that Jones says he had no choice but to leave the job. This isn't just workplace bullying, it's full-on intimidation. And what did Henyard do while all of this was going down? Absolutely nothing. She sat back and let Price go unchecked, which paints a pretty grim picture of how things are being run under her leadership. The lawsuit against Thornton Township isn't just about Jones's personal ordeal, it's about a broader pattern of retaliation and abuse under Henyard's administration. Jones's case shines a spotlight on the toxic work environment that seems to be the norm in Thornton Township. It's not just about one employee being mistreated, it's about a culture of fear and intimidation that's been allowed to fester. And it's not just Jones who's come forward. Other former employees are starting to speak up too, sharing similar stories of retaliation and harassment. Henyard fired her chief of police late last year without any approval from the village board, so now Robert Collins has filed a lawsuit against the village. So what's next for Tiffany Henyard? It's hard to say for sure, but it looks like her time and power are running out. With the court ruling, the federal investigation, and the growing public outcry, she's facing battles on all fronts. And let's not forget the restraining orders. This isn't just about appointments, it's about the entire structure of governance in Dolton and Thornton Township being called into question. I'm about to address things as the supervisor. There will be no comments, there will be nothing. It's just going to be me addressing you guys to tell you what's going on. It's clear that Henyard is losing her grip and fast. One comment from a local resident really sums it up. Tiffany is losing her stronghold over the trustees, and she can't handle it. She got way too greedy, and her time is coming to an end. That's the sentiment on the ground. People are fed up, and they're ready for a change. Dolton's once tight control over the board of trustees is slipping, and she's scrambling to hold on to whatever power she has left. But as the investigations and lawsuits pile up, it's only a matter of time before everything comes crashing down. And it's not just the legal side of things that's causing problems for Henyard. Public perception is turning against her in a big way. More and more people are speaking out, asking why she's been able to drag